Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menasce. On today's show, we're talking about using data to drive business decisions. Perhaps the best company in the world for using data-driven decision-making is Amazon. But what do you do when the data doesn't exist? You're hoping to try something new in the market that hasn't been done before, or if it has been done, you don't have access to the data because it's proprietary, belongs to a competitor. Well, it would make sense to run an experiment on a small scale, collect the data, and use that data to plot your next move. Well, Amazon has expanded heavily into physical retail since 2015. The company purchased Whole Foods in 2017 for more than $13 billion and has since added to its lineup with a series of cashierless stores called Amazon Go, as well as its more conventional Amazon Fresh grocery stores, as well as Amazon Books. Each of these initiatives are small-scale commitments to bricks-and-mortar retail in order to gather data and determine what works and what doesn't. Amazon's got a lot of data about selling books. They know which books are truly bestsellers. They know where business books sell in higher volume. They know what parts of the country books on spirituality sell in higher volume. What they didn't know was, out of existing customers, which customers would prefer to handle the physical book as part of the purchasing process. Would a physical store simply result in a substitution of existing sales that would happen anyway? Or would a physical store result in additional sales? And if so, by how much? Amazon's technology innovations have been particularly present in its Go and grocery stores. Beginning with the Go stores, Amazon started to equip many of its outlets with dozens of cameras and other technology, including palm scanning for entry and payment. That enables shoppers to purchase items without having to pass through a checkout line. The company opened its first cashierless Whole Foods in Washington, D.C. Cashierless stores have proved popular with customers, but some retail analysts question whether the cost of using the technology might be too high for what is typically a low-margin industry. Those small RFID tags are actually fairly expensive, especially for a low-value product. Amazon's begun to license its cashierless system to other retailers, and while the company over the years has used its clout to expand into new markets, this year they made a decision to close a bunch of stores. Some people think that's showing that somehow Amazon has failed in physical retail. Sales for the company's physical store segment decreased from 2019 to 2021, and that reflects less in-store shopping throughout the pandemic. But I don't think the foray into physical stores was a push into physical retail as much as it was an experiment to learn about the retail business. See, Amazon began studying the potential of retail similar to department stores that could feature clothing and other potential technologies, including the ability to use QR codes and other technology in order to make real-time recommendations to customers. The company announced earlier this year in January that it would open a store called Amazon Style in Los Angeles using that kind of technology. They want to see if potential apparel stores can improve the brand recognition of its fashion items and at the same time get rid of some of the irritants of online shopping. There's a lot of drawbacks to physical stores. Labor costs are much higher per transaction because there's periods of low foot traffic in a store. You still need to staff the store whether transactions are happening or not. Amazon staff in a warehouse environment, they're continually busy. So the labor component of each transaction is extremely low in the online world, whereas in retail, you've got some dead time when there's no foot traffic in your store. Creating an experience that's both efficient, somewhat self-service oriented, minimizes the staffing requirements for the transactional aspect of the sale. Customers are not wasting time waiting for a sales associate to become available. The staff provides essential services, which include helping answer customer questions and providing security for the inventory against theft. The question of security varies widely by location as well. Last year, the state of California, in an effort to be kinder and gentler, has changed the threshold for grand theft for anything above $950, and anything under $950 is considered petty theft, subject to lesser charges and penalties. Petty thefts under $50 are often charged as an infraction, which is punishable by a maximum fine of $250. These are not generally treated as a crime or even as a misdemeanor. The result has been a significant uptick in petty theft from retail stores, and no doubt retail stores in California that are largely self-service are going to have unique issues with respect to staffing and inventory management. This is all part of the learning process, and this learning process requires actual experience with live customers, live staff, and real products. There are many in the industry out there claiming that Amazon is failing in physical retail. I don't agree with that assessment. They launched some physical stores during the middle of the pandemic when retail patterns were disrupted. But I don't believe these efforts were made to strictly maximize revenue. These ventures were really a data gathering experiment, conducted to learn about the specific aspects of physical retail. What products will thrive in a physical setting? What are the staffing requirements? What's the right cost structure for the physical store in terms of footprint, inventory, location? What is the average transaction size? Will customers enter the store just to buy a single product, or will they stock up? How do these sales metrics compare with their bread and butter online counterpart? All of these questions can only be answered with a real live experiment. Expect Amazon to be back and translate these learnings into a real push into the world of physical retail. As you think about that, have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.